What's up? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads, and check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel. Thank you. Before I get into this article about this base teacher here in Ireland, I'm going to share with you some data from onefamily.ie about one-parent families in Ireland. 1 in 5 people in Ireland live in a one-parent family. 1 in 4 families with children in Ireland is a one-parent family. 86.4% of one-parent families are headed by a mother and 13.6% by a father. The teaching profession is proudly putting out online with their own statistics that their profession is comprised of 85% female workers. In my opinion, that says that there's a gross lack of masculinity and masculine influence within society in general. And this is the type of stuff that you are seeing when masculinity is involved and how it is treated currently in this day and age. You've seen it in entertainment and now it has made its way over into the real world. We've seen this type of behaviour happen in America. For example, libs of TikTok have been showing this, and now it has made its way over to our shores, this type of nonsense. Before I jump in, by the way, this is the state broadcaster here in Ireland, and look how far down the pecking order Ireland is. 1, 2, 3 nonsensical things, and then 4. Unbelievable, isn't it? Injunction after suspended teacher who opposed they pronoun turns up at school. You know, if I identified as a Taoiseach tomorrow, I don't think anybody's going to take me seriously, and rightfully so in my view. I don't think if I decide that I'm going to identify as a tiger tomorrow, that people are going to say, yeah, you're totally a tiger and we're going to treat you as such. Pure and utter nonsense in my opinion. And anyway, you have a fantastic advocate now for this they pronoun stuff in Ezra Miller nowadays, who has gone on a massive spree, and not only has he done that, he has publicly now come out and said he is going to seek mental help. I wonder if there couldn't be a correlation there, could there? Anyway, we'll let ourselves into this article and then I'll show you some other stuff that I have attached to this, which I think is boding very well for this guy, this based teacher. A secondary school has secured a temporary High Court injunction preventing a teacher who opposes addressing a student with the pronoun they from either attending at his premises or from teaching any classes at the school while he remains suspended from his position. The injunction was secured on an ex parte basis by the Board of Management at Wilson's Hospital School in County Westmeath against Enoch Burke, who the court was told is currently on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of an ongoing disciplinary process. Of course, common sense not being applied here whatsoever, and the irony in it being called a hospital school, huh? He has been sanctioned and now fining has been made against him by the school. His suspension arises from alleged conduct after he publicly voiced his objections to the school's request to address one of its students who wishes to transition using the pronoun they and by a different name. Wasn't there a story recently in the media that was quite large, but they tried to sweep under the carpet about Tavistock there in the UK, which Irish people were sent across? Wasn't there a big story? Yeah, they swept that one under the carpet, didn't they? Very interesting, that one. The school claims that despite his decision to suspend him, made at a meeting he attended with his sister Amy earlier this month, he has attended at the school's campus in recent days. Miss Justice Siobhan Stack was told today. I wonder if there's going to be a common denominator amongst things that are going on here. The school, represented in court by Rosemary Mallon, really? Instructed by Mason Hayes and current solicitors, sought the injunction because it fears the teacher's refusal to abide by the terms of his decision may be very disruptive. Yeah, the parents and indeed this individual themselves haven't disrupted anything. They've only disrupted this man's life. They've disrupted the life of the principal. They've now disrupted the life of the school and indeed every other student that's there. And I'm sure other parents are quietly talking amongst themselves about how wrong this is and how nonsensical this is, but none of them seem to be publicly supporting them, which is what they should be doing, in my opinion. Council said that Mr. Burke, who was from County Mayo, was placed on administrative leave pending the completion of a disciplinary process into allegations of wrongdoing against him. What, by stating facts? By stating what is biologically looked at for years and decades and maybe even hundreds of years at this stage, with your own 2 eyeballs and your 2 ears. You know what I'm saying? Pure nonsense. The process arose after the teacher objected to a request by the school based on a request from a student and their parents earlier this year to address a student who wishes to transition by a different name and to use the pronoun they rather than he or she. to be honest with you, the lion's share of the blame here goes with the parents, and that's exactly what's happening in America. You're seeing it now. People are starting to look at the parents and starting to blame them. A kid is going to be a kid, and the thing is, a kid can decide today he's going to be Batman, and tomorrow he's going to be Superman, and then the following day he's going to be a dog. That's what a child is going to do. But shame on the parents here engaging in this sort of stuff. Mr. Burke, it is claimed, objected to this, has questioned the school's position, says that a belief system is being forced on students. But boom! Oh, base teacher, I love to say it, and claims that the school's request amounts to a breach of constitutional rights. Sweet. This is exactly the way to treat these people. Hey, you want to deal in nonsense? Here's what the Constitution says. You think the Constitution doesn't matter at all? It absolutely does. You think law and order doesn't matter? 100% it does. The school denies to Mr. Burke in correspondence that anyone is being forced to do or anything. Seems like you are forcing them to do that. That's what it seems like. Again, speculatively, allegedly. The school said it is focusing on the needs and welfare of its students and is affirming its policy in accordance with the 2000 Equal Status Act of not discriminating against any student. You see, this is how they use words, by the way, to help themselves out of situations that they know are wrong, but they'll still go, what can we use here? That's what they're doing in my view. It said it acknowledged Mr. Burke's religious beliefs, but expects him to communicate with the student in accordance with the students and their parents' wishes. So this is the situation we find ourselves in. You are allowed to be offended at this man's opinion, but then what gives you the right for you to be offended at this man's opinion and him having to then recede and him having to just accept that? That's absolutely ludicrous stuff. Freedom of speech, what? The school claims that last June a service and dinner was held to mark the school's 260th anniversary. It was attended by clergy. I'm in the clergy on the missing list with this one. They should be standing up too. Staff, past and present pupils, parents and board members. It is claimed that Mr. Burke interrupted the service and said that the school's principal, Neil McShane, should withdraw the earlier demand regarding the transitioning of the student, that he could not agree with transgenderism and said it went against the school's ethos and the teaching of the Church of Ireland. Smoked! The school claims that after he spoke, members of the congregation and students walked out of the school chapel. Shame on them. But then again, this is how these things are reported. I mean, they could have left 30 minutes after and him not being on the stage whatsoever. You see the way that they say these things? It's very interesting. I'm playing this game a little while now. You have to look at these things and read between the lines. It is claimed that at the follow-up dinner, Mr. Burke did not sit at any table after the meal. He is alleged to have approached... How did he eat then if he's not sitting at any table? Like, was he doing standing up with the food? Like, what are you trying to say? He is alleged to have approached the principal and asked her again to withdraw the request regarding the student. The school claims that she said she would speak to Mr. Burke at an appropriate time and place and walked away from him. You see, this is what works, by the way. It works when you put these people publicly on the spot and when you say to them, here, hang on here for a second here. Do you know that this is wrong and you understand that this doesn't follow the ethos or the morality of what we're supposed to be pushing and what we're supposed to be putting out there and giving people good morals and good influences? Because like I said as well, you've got a serious lack of masculinity and you have rampant crime going on here in this country. And this is across the world, by the way. All of these places that have decreased masculinity have actually increased crime rates. Says it all. It is claimed that he continued to follow her and questioned her loudly. Again, no problem with that freedom of speech now. And these people certainly don't believe in freedom of speech because they want to push her upon this guy. Other people stood between him to prevent the continuation of his questioning and his further claims. Shame on them. The school located in Multy-Farnham, County Westmeath, is the Church of Ireland's diocesan school for Meath and Kildare. Arising out of Mr. Burke's alleged conduct, a disciplinary process was commenced. It was considered by the board, resulting in a decision to place him on administrative leave pending the outcome of the process. The next stage of the process is due to take place in mid-September, council said. Indeed, I think it's great to see that this guy now is saying he's going to continue to work, he's there to work, he's showing up, and he's doing what's right in my opinion, as you can see from this article. Fair play to him. But what has happened since then, and indeed it shows you a win for the based individual, and indeed maybe a slinking away of an individual that wanted to treat this guy this way, because when it comes to it, you might get the likes on the likes of Twitter and all of that, but when reality starts to set in, when you start to not look at people's constitutional rights and indeed what is fundamentally right and what is biology and science for decades, if not hundreds of years at this stage, you then get end results like this. The end result is this, and this is fantastic for this based teacher, because what you are seeing now is Wilson's Hospital School here on Twitter tweeting this out on the 30th of May 2022. This person, in my opinion, my humble opinion, speculatively, allegedly, is slinking off into a new job after upending this man's life, his career and his good name, is now going to try and slink off somewhere else. This to me shows you that the pendulum and the momentum is swinging, and it's going with our side. It's going with these based people, because they have had enough of the nonsense and they are stepping up to it and they are pushing back. And this is the end result of pushing back. This person probably thought it was all tied up, was going to hang around where they were. No. This based guy was saying, no chance is this happening, and he made her move. This is awesome to see. Today, Miss McShane has announced that she is leaving us at the end of this school year, and as of September, she will be the new principal of Bandon Grammar School. We're extremely sorry to be saying goodbye to her and her family, but we wish her well and every success in her new school. Now, as I always like to say and point out, it's interesting the people that align with these lofty, as we will say, opinions and ideologies. It's always very strange to me that a lot of these people, particularly the ladies that are involved with this, seem to be low-scoring individuals. It's never an absolute stunner, is it? It's never an absolute beaut of a woman that's getting involved with this sort of stuff. And this is why these people behave like this, by the way. They behave like this because for years, they were not listened to, because everybody knows when you see a hot woman, you listen to that hot woman. But when you see people like this, you go, yeah, not minding you whatsoever. And now what's happened in this current climate over the last couple of years, these people have gotten a bit of rope and they're going, oh, this is great. I'm going to be able to talk here. I'm able to affect and ruin the careers of other people, particularly fellas over there that wouldn't have a second look at me. Oh, fantastic. And now it's coming full circle, and the fellas are going, actually, do you know what? I'm going to push back against you, because now you're infringing upon my constitutional rights. You're infringing upon what has scientifically been proven for hundreds of years at this stage with our own eyeballs and our own ears. You're gone and I'm staying. Based teacher. I'd love to see the support for this guy. I'd like to see the support increased. And indeed, I know it's highly unlikely, but if you would like to come on and do a live chat or anything like that, or have his say, he's more than welcome to do so. Great to see this. Full support on. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads. Check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel, and I'll talk to you later.